Stream started.
Hello guys, and welcome to my third video of how to create a storyboard, or at least the process of creating one. And this time actually I upgraded, as you can see, the setup and also my microphone and everything else, so we're good, we just need to get started. But this is just like the introduction, but I'm gonna be right back soon. I shouldn't be speaking way too much, so yeah, let's just get straight to it. Alright guys, so we are back in O's. We're gonna create something today. As you can see, I don't really have anything else open other than O's, so we're gonna start from scratch, kinda. And the first thing we're gonna do is actually finding a map. I've made quite a lot of maps, as you can see, but I think actually this one could be perfect. And what we want is to actually create something pleasing, not too flashy like I did on Future Candy, that map.
Future Candy!
Maybe something more chill. So far so bad. Oh, there it is. So as you can see, very nice, some chill, stuff going on right here. You can see the countries, the name. We can make something like this. Man, I love this song. But anyways, so what I'm gonna do is, when I want to make a storyboard, is we just found a theme, like the style we want. We could crop some of these elements out in Photoshop and animate them with the precision and rotation and scale. And yeah, so the first thing is you need to open Storybrew. So it's gonna look like this. Storybrew is quite a powerful tool to make cool storyboards. You can access it on this link. I'll just link all these links in the description. You just need to install it by going to getting started. We gotta download the latest version. Click on the latest version, go to that and click here, then start the download. Gonna open it here, right click, unpack the zip, boom, delete the zip. You have the Storybrew program. It's not very complicated. So yeah, but don't you shouldn't open it yet, because you actually need another program, which is the coding editor. You could use your own, any other editors. It's recommended to use some Visual Code, which we're gonna download right now. Go straight to this one, getting started. Download the latest version. We already did that. Then we're gonna do number 2, install Visual Studio Code, download for Windows. Once you have done that, it's installed. And you'll be able to see it here, visual, yeah, right here, right? This is very important to do this. But anyways, so after you've done that, you're gonna install the net framework. It has to be this, this version, because that's the dependencies or whatever it's using. So yeah, you're gonna install it in whichever language you want and then download it. After that is finished, you're gonna go to number 4. So we've done all that and we gotta launch it now. We launched it, and maybe we should create a new project. I usually make a prefix to where I state the client, the one I'm making the storyboard for. It's easier to organize the storyboards that way, I think. So we're gonna find the map now, and then we're gonna click on this, which is the O's file. They will use the MP3 and all that. So once we've done that, as you can see, we launched Storybrew, clicked on new project, chose the name and all that with those file inside. By the way, you gotta check this site out if you want to know a little bit more about storyboarding and advanced techniques. It's made by Puna, so it's very helpful. You can keep this in another tab where you can just go back to it and you can just see all these information, animations, loops and stuff like that. So yeah, which is crazy. Anyways, what I usually do is open the project folder. As you can see, this is the project folder, and this is all the other projects I've made. What we're gonna do now is basically just create a new folder inside the map set folder. Call it storyboard, something like that, just something simple. And I usually just copy paste the background into the Storybrew folder, as you can see right here. Maybe make a new folder called elements, background elements, put it right there. So we're gonna cut out all elements, I mean not all, but just the girl, the goddamn birds, just this little building. And we're gonna use Photoshop to do that. We're gonna start with the big stuff. So this building, just select everything we want. All right, this is the first element. As you can see, I just cropped it out from the background. So what we're gonna do now is masking out the other parts of the background. I mean, it looks quite terrible, but with the girl on top, I think it's actually quite nice. Alright, we just cut out everything, as you can see. Actually, we forgot about something. Look at this. Like, damn, everything is like generated from this side. Wow, that's quite nice. Yeah, I mean, look, we can animate it like this without, like, it seems quite natural, but I gotta fix something real quick. Okay, now I'm done with everything I need. So yeah, I'll just keep this file until I'm actually satisfied. This is the first part, so tune in for the next part.
Stream started.
Alright, so you could hear that, and that means it's time for me to actually begin the creating process, making the effects in Storybrew and yeah, all that stuff. Yeah, so we should just get to it, but I gotta make a disclaimer though. I haven't made a storyboard for like 75 years. So I gotta say, if I mess up, well, well, I'll just cut that out. But just so you know, I might be a little too rusty, and I gotta take my time to look at my other scripts to actually see what the fuck I did. But other than that, I can just show you how to make the first effect that we're gonna use. Enough talking, let's get to it. Cool. Some of you guys actually want to start storyboarding. I think that I'll just create a zip folder with these files, and you can just use them in this process and actually do whatever I do to create the storyboard, and I'll just make it very easy for you guys. So I'll just make a zip file and you can do the same as me for this map. First, we want to create a new script. Gotta call it background and click OK. Then you can see we have this opened, and what we can do now is actually start coding. The first thing we want to do though is we want to create a new function. We gotta call it shake effect, and we will create a start time and end time for this effect. We gotta copy this, so we gotta Control and C, just anywhere in the program it's gonna copy. We'll just put in the value right here. After that, let's make the function, go down here to line 22. I'm very bad at explaining, but you can see what I'm doing, and I'll try my best to explain what I'm doing. So let's get to it. So we just created a new effect called shake effect, and we actually want to make these values work in this function. It's the start time, so we're gonna call it start time, and it has to be int. As you can see, it says integer. Actually, let me just do this so you can follow along. But yeah, as you can see, it says integer, which is basically just a number, and this is a number, so it makes sense. We gotta call it start time. Do the same with the end time. int end time. Cool. So once we've done that, we gotta create the actual background. Let's do that by doing var bg. And then what we want is to create the layer. We gotta do like get layer. Then we make these. We have to find the layer, and the layer is that we want to use right now is the town. Actually, we'll just call it town because so we know which kind of layer it is. We gotta name the layer town. And then we gotta create the sprite. Boom. We need to fill out something inside the sprite. As you can see, these things. We need to find a path, the origin, and position. And of course, we can do other things. But so first, the path SB. We can open this. As you can see, it's inside SB, inside BG elements. So we gotta call it. We got a BG elements, and then inside BG elements, it's called town.jpg, just like that. By the way, it's very important that you actually put on the extension of the file, otherwise you might not be able to actually use it because it won't show up. But yeah, that's the first thing. And then the origin is, let's see, OSB origin centra. Boom. Cool. We don't want to input position yet because we got to create it dynamically. We don't want it to be static and just be there. We want to change the position over time, so it doesn't really make sense to write the position right now. First function we can do is the fade function. So we gotta start off with this town. So town dot fade, because we want to fade it. The first value is start time. That's just it. We don't need all the other stuff. We just gotta call it town and then the fade amount. So 1. That's it. But we will only see it on the 0, like the start time. So just like to begin with, we can also type in the end time like this, and then just 1 1, and that's it. So yeah. After that, you can see it will pop up here. This is the background. As you can see, right now it's just nothing happens, right? But we want to change that. What we want to do is actually scale it the right dimension. And to do that, we gotta make a new variable and call it town scale. And town scale is, we want to find the width and the height of the background, and to do that we gotta create a bitmap for this background file. So what we want to do is type get bitmap, mapsid bitmap, and then we can just copy paste it right here like this. So yeah, that's basically it. And now we gotta make the scale town.scale, not vector, because we don't want that. Yeah, so we gotta do that and then type in the same start time. But this time it's only the scale. So what we want to do is actually just scale it to fit just the height. So what we can do is type in the height, which is originally 480, which is storyboard playfield height, divided by this bitmap. So what we want to do is type in town scale and then dot. We want to scale it to the height, so we're gonna do height. We forgot to put a 0.0f, which means it's float. The value is a float, so that means we can use decimals. Before it was only whole numbers, but now it's decimal numbers, which is very important. So you can see right now it's actually fit into the height. As you can see, it's kind of too small. So what we can do instead is use the width, since the image is actually not long enough. I don't know how to explain it, but we got to change this to maybe something like 854. And as you can see, it's actually, it fits with the playfield now. We want to put this girl, and to do that it's just the same thing, you know. Just do variable girl and building, which equals get layer, then the actual girl, and building name building, then create the sprite, put in this path. It's basically the same path, so I'm just copy it, and it's a PNG. So what I'm gonna do is it's called girl PNG. Maybe I should just call it girl. This is too long. Cool, gonna call it girl, but we want it to be PNG, so we're gonna change that. Go straight to the scale, girl, and then scale. And what we want to do with the scale is we want to take the scale from this town, just put in the start time, and we want to use the function called scale at. Type in the town, we want to take it from the town, and then scale at, we need the time. which time we need to take the scale value from. So we want to put in start time. And then because scale at is a vector, which means it has two values, x and y. So what we want to do is type in x. Now we want to use height, so we want to use y like that. And the next thing is we want to position it. But before we do that, let's actually just make the fade, because we need it to be visible. So we're gonna type in fade, start time, and then one. Actually, let me do this. I always forget. Cool. When that's done, we can actually just see how it looks like. Well, we forgot to actually finish this line. In this case, the origin should be central right. As you can see, we want the origin to be here because it's easier to move it, like to actually move it around that way. Instead of in the middle, we don't really know when it's gonna hit the edge. Wait a minute, let me see where it is. That's actually interesting. Oh, that's why we forgot to actually copy the S. That's why it didn't show up. I was like, hold on, what the fuck did I do wrong? And as you can see, it's the origin is right here at the central right, but we want it to be on the far right side, and we can do that easily. The position should start there, so we're gonna do girl position move, and then use start time, and we're gonna type in the move x. We can do new vector because it's two values in one. To do that, we gotta do the vector 2. Position is first of all the x. Let's see, maybe this. The y should just be this, which is the middle, like that. Very simple. All right, so we are back. All right, so cool. So you can see it looks like a normal background. Let's go to the next step. Now we have made all this. Cool, that's cool, but we need something else, to be honest, which is the rest of this script. We gotta make a circle because it's gonna rotate around randomly around this circle. First of all, gotta make a new function called circle position vector 2 because there's two values, angle and radius. We're gonna use them. So, and angle should be a double because we don't want it to see, like we want it to be smooth as smooth as possible, because double means it will use many more decimals. So instead of int and float, we're gonna use double. The radius should just be int because radius. Cool. Okay, for now we can just copy this and put it under here. Just this. We need to return a value from this function so we can use it here. And as you can see, it's remember, like I just went straight to the storyboarding in Storybrew after using the design tab in the OS editor. So I really am limited. I'm so limited on why it's called void and all that. So, yeah, okay, anyways, but the difference is this is a void probably because we don't need to return anything. We don't need to return a value as we will in this function. It's called vector 2 because we specifically want to return a value which is a vector 2, you know. In this function we want to create the circle. Double plus x equals plus y plus radius and multiply it with math cos. I mean, yeah, I know it's not called cos, but yeah, I'll just say cos and sin. But yeah, cos, and then we gotta do this and type in angle, then these, and we can just basically copy that, and we just need to change a few things. This, wait a minute, why is it called what is this? Hold on, we need to change this. This is wrong. We gotta change it to this. Cool. And same with this one, we gotta change it to the y position like that, and then we're gonna just multiply this with 5 just like that and change this to sin vector 2 and then position like that, and then we're gonna take this, replace this, so it's gonna look like this. Do the same here. So we just did that, and now we're gonna make the return. So we will return these two values. We gotta do that by typing in return new vector, And always remember to write new before the vector, unless it's inside, like at the function parameters. So always remember the new as I did here, unless it's like here, because then it's a different story. So yeah, we're gonna type in float to force these values to be float, and do the same with the x position. Maybe we should just float and then position y. Okay, and then this. Okay, so that's all for now. We just need to fill in these two. That's just the middle of the screen, these two positions. Wait, what is this? Oh yeah, I need to make them a vector. So to do that, I just need to do thing was new vector 2, like that. Cool. We're gonna use it later, but for now, like this circle position, we can apply it to the town, like by, we could call it town circle position, like that. Just duplicate this like that and call it girl circle position. So we have two different ones. Boom. Wait a minute, I need to copy this, just like that. So we have the same, we have two different ones for each of these two. For this one, let me do this because that's confusing. We can make a new variable called girl position, and it's gonna be new vector. Always remember the new, it's very important. But yeah, new vector, gotta use this position, the girl, because it's on the far right side. And yeah, so what we can do is we can delete this and replace this with this variable, like that. And we also need to put in the position just right here, because man, I gotta map those hotkeys, because right now it's too annoying to do this manually. But we gotta move it over this one, so it gets generated before this line. So that means we can use this on the next line and the lines below it. We can use this variable on the lines above it, because it's limited. As you can see, if I try it, oh hold on, if I try it, it's gonna be red. Like, as you can see, not use local variable girl position before it's declared. Exactly. So yeah, delete that. But so yeah, what we can do is just the same with the town. We gotta name it town position, and do this, replace this like that, and make this a town position, and save it so far. To make it shake, first of all, maybe we could like fill in the, if you go up here, the radius, we could like fill it with let's just say 20. So we gotta make the shake effect, you know, it's called shake effect after all. We gotta make sure that it shakes over time and all that. And to do that, first we need to make a loop, whole loop. So let's do that. For that, we should assign the angle and the radius for the loop, because we're gonna change it over time, but we need to start it at 0. So what we're gonna do is angle and current, just angle current is 0 and double. It's a double because remember the angle, it's a double, it needs to be few more decimals, so yeah, that's why it's a double. Do the same just with the radius and call it current. It should just be 0 because we don't need those extra decimals. Now we gotta make the for loop. I don't know how to say it, but I'll just show you. The for loop is like this. You say for, then int equals I. So, actually, I'm stupid. Int, the I should be int, and it equals start time. That, okay, and then as you can see, the first thing is the for loop means we're gonna make a loop over time. So the I is the variable, the new variable for the time. So inside this for loop, we're gonna use I instead of time, because the time in this loop will always change dynamically, but the time right here, this variable, as you can see here, is always going to be 0. Same with the end time. That's why we make a new variable inside the for loop, and we can use that as an indicator for the time that changes over time. I hope you're not confused. You might be, but you'll get it. So the next thing is just to finish this loop by writing the I'll call it dynamic time. The I, which is the dynamic time, should be less than the end time, and we should probably do that. And the thing is, we just need to make the step, the time step, so we can figure out how much we actually want this loop to repeat itself. Like the duration, kind of, it's like the duration. For each time, it's going to repeat itself from start time to end time. And to do that, we're going to make the dynamic time plus equal with, let's call it shake amount, like that. It equals shake amount, and shake amount doesn't exist yet because we haven't assigned it, but we can just do that real quick by doing int shake amount. Over here, shake amount can probably be, for now, maybe, I don't know, 500 milliseconds. So yeah, I mean, it's quite, I don't know, maybe too small. Let's just do two seconds, like that. We gotta actually minus the end time with the shake amount in case we reach the end time and it's still gonna shake after it. So just minus it in case, you want it to be sure that it stops before the end time. Inside the for loop, should do like that. Inside this, we should create everything else. We are going to use this inside this for loop, these circuit positions. But yeah, right now we should make a new variable for the angle inside this for loop. To do that, yeah, we will just create the variable angle equals, and we gotta make it random because we want the loop, the position to have different angles over time, not only one. So each time it iterates, each time this for loop repeat itself, it'll always have a different angle, and the new angle will move the background to that position the angle is aiming at. So that's why we need to make it a random value by writing random and do this. And then the current angle, we're gonna use that now. Current angle, which is 0. It's the start of the for loop. That's why we need it to be 0. So the current angle, I think that's why, shit, I might be wrong. So yeah, the current angle, we gotta minus it with math pi. This is some mathematics going on right here, but it's not too complicated. We got the current angle minus math pi divided by 4, and that's the first value of the random function. So this is the first value, which is the smallest value. Now we're going to make the bigger value, which it can, as you can see, minimum value and maximum value. So yeah, after the random minimum value, we're gonna make the maximum value, which is gonna be angle current. This time it's gonna be plus math pi, just like that. Beautiful. Yeah, the next variable is gonna be the radius. So radius is gonna be, well, first of all, let me go to this. Let's see, we're gonna use this inside for loop, so let's just put it there so I won't get confused. We're gonna use it here, so we're gonna call this the angle. Wait a minute, this is the for loop for the town. So actually we can actually just do that, focus on the town. But yeah, we're gonna make sure this is value and this is gonna be the radius. So we're gonna do that radius. Cool. But we're gonna fill this out with math apps, and hold on, we're gonna make it random as well. Random it with radius current and minus the actual real radius. We haven't assigned it yet to this function, the radius of the circle, how much space it has to move around in. We're gonna assign it real value, doing int then radius with the big R, so it's a different variable than this. That's why it's a big R. We're gonna use this radius, maybe make it 20. Cool. And we're gonna copy it and paste it here. Yeah, so we will minus that with radius and divide by 4, and max value of this random function should be almost the same, just with plus instead of minus. So plus radius divided by 4. Well, yeah, that's basically it for this function. I mean this variable, but we gotta make sure that while this radius is bigger than the real radius, the static radius, this is the dynamic radius, which is a random value, as you can see inside the for loop. So it's gonna be random, different radius each time this for loop is looping. You know, it's each time 2 seconds has passed, it's gonna make a new value for these random functions. So but anyways, while this dynamic radius is on, like while it's bigger than the real radius, we're gonna make a while loop to make sure that that it's in effect, like this actually happens. So let's do this. Radius bigger than the real radius, and inside it's just this line. So we'll just do that. It's just the same line. So while this happens, we're gonna make sure that that the start, we're gonna make a variable called start equals the sprite's position. The sprite's position. Maybe we should just it's not that. We gotta call it the town because it's the sprite we're gonna use. So the town position at I. Hold on, I. You can see how we use I right here. As I said earlier, this I is dynamic. It's not always the same as the real start time, because the real start time is 0. This I, which equals the start time in this loop, will always change each time the time passes. So this I will always have a value between start time and end time. So that's why while, like, you know, the start is always a new value between these two, and that's why we gotta use this position at I. So the position at I, we're gonna use that to define the coordinates of the circle, you know, where the background's gonna be inside the circle, which has a defined radius number. And yeah, so we gotta make this line. We gotta also make an end. So variable end equals, now we're gonna use this because it's always gonna end on this value. It's always gonna end. Alright, so actually we only need it to be 2 values, so we need to delete this town position right here. We're gonna search for it real quick. We're gonna use this town position in somewhere else, so we'll delete this and make it a global variable so we can change it inside Storybrew. And to do that, we're gonna go above the generate function and type in configurable, and then we're gonna type in public vector, because it has 2 values in one. So then we're just going to paste this. So the town position is going to be this, and we'll do the same with the girl position. So we're gonna do this. Oh man, and the X position was 854 that. So we'll search for this girl position and delete it here, also here. Cool. And also delete it from, you know, this. It should be we gotta make sure this is the, instead of this position, we're gonna delete this. We're gonna use the girl, and in the town position we're gonna use the town, so we'll rename that to town like that. Okay, cool. And then so that's it. And I can show you real quick, like in Storybrew. Oh, hold on, must have forgotten to yeah, we haven't defined position for this overlay because we deleted it right here, because we haven't used the move command yet. I can show you that we just created these variables. It's gonna be here. This one should always be there, so we need to make sure that it's a variable for itself like that. We're gonna save and check if it's gonna, yeah, cool. So you can see it's here. We can change it, but not yet. We need to finish this first. So yeah, we gotta finish it by making sure that if the dynamic time plus the shake amount is over or equals to the end time, we gotta make sure that the loop actually stops the end time, correct time, so it doesn't continue after the end time. We gotta write that real quick if we gotta declare this if the dynamic time plus shake amount is bigger or equal to end time, then we will make sure that the town town position, which is move, is gonna end at this value. So we gotta make sure about that. So I end time, and it's gonna have the start value and the end value, and that's all. But we could make an easing so it seems smooth, but I'll show later. Yeah, and else, you know, we gotta make an else. If this doesn't happen, we gotta make sure that something else is happening. So else town sprite, oh shit, town move, and let's do that. The dynamic time, we gotta make sure that the time, hold on, let me just write this, then I'll explain. If this doesn't happen, if the you know, the town moves and it moves all the way to the end time and a little bit longer than that, if that happens, we'll make sure that it actually ends on, like, it ends on this value, as you can see. So the thing is, if that doesn't happen, we gotta make sure that the town moves from current time inside the loop. It's gonna be a value between these two, start time and end time. So yeah, we gotta make sure that it moves from that value and then moves to the shake amount value, which is the intensity of how fast it's gonna move over time, which is the duration, you could say. So yeah, but other than that, there's not really anything else. Oh yeah, I meant that it's gonna stop at the end time. As you can see, it's gonna stop at the end time if this is bigger than the end time. If the value actually becomes bigger than the end time because of the shake amount, we're gonna make sure that it stops at the end time or before it. So it's gonna move from the current time in this loop to the end time. And with this one, it's gonna just move from the current time to the duration until it hits the end time. So yeah, that's how I'll explain this so you'll understand. Yeah, and that's basically it. But we need to make sure that the current time and the current radius is the same as the radius here and the angle here. So what we can do to achieve that is doing angle current is angle and radius current is radius, like that. So that will make sure that each time this loop has been in effect, you know, it has iterated once, the next values will in terms of angle and radius, it will take the last value from the angle and radius, and we'll use it in the new iteration of the loop. I hope that it makes sense, but that's basically it. And yeah, so let's save and see how it looks like in Storybrew. Let's first of all go to layer and hide this layer real quick. It doesn't seem, as you can see, it actually moves. So yeah, first of all, let's try to play it. Maybe go here. As you can see, it moves, but it's quite rough, and that's why I wanted to wait with the easing, because I wanted to show that we can make it more smooth with the easing. But before that, let's make a variable for the shake amount so we can change it here, or maybe not, we can just change it here. So let's change it here by 1 second instead, and we gotta make sure the easing is something smooth. So OSB easing, you can see all the easing here. I mean, not all. Scroll down, you can see everything. But we're gonna use the one called in out sign. So we're gonna use in out sign. It's gonna be smooth all the way from the start to the finish. So this one, in out sign. We'll do the same with this line. That rhymed. Okay, cool. Update it and let's see how it moves. You can see it's more smooth, which is great, but it's too small, you know, the background. You can see it goes like the scale, it's not big enough, because you can see it's kind of, you know, goes too much to the right side, and all that, but we're gonna make sure that it doesn't do that by scaling the background here at the town scale. We're gonna make sure that we can scale it by, if we do this plus, and we're gonna make plus a decimal to a decimal number, like maybe 0.1. Let's see how big it's gonna get the background, like that. Okay, maybe that's too much. We can do 5. Oh wait, I meant 0.5, like that. Okay, it seems to still do it a little bit under at the bottom, so let's just do 1 to make sure that it doesn't happen. And yeah, let's see. Okay, I think at some point, somewhere around, oh, right there. Okay, it's too much right there. We can just change the radius to maybe 15. Let's see if it's gonna fix it. Let's see. Yeah, I think we fixed it. We'll do this later. I'll make a time lapse for this, because this video is getting way too long. So yeah, what we can do is show the girl to see how it looks like, but for now let's maybe just use the girl position, put it right here, just so it isn't on the middle, and we can see the difference like that. I think that's it for part 1. I mean, I can probably finish the rest of the storyboard, but for now it's gonna be like this, and let's just export it and see how it looks like inside the game. To make sure everything, oh yeah, these letterbox, make sure to turn them off, and the sign, make sure that it's widescreen support, that it's on. Okay, and let's see how it looks like. Yeah, I mean, yeah, it's cool and all. Yeah, that's basically it. I hope that voice cracked though. I hope you learned something, and I'm sorry that it's taking so long to actually do this, because I'm rusty as I said earlier. So I hope you took your time to actually sit with the popcorn and watch me show you how to make this shake effect. Very simple, even though it took like 10 years to make. But so what you can do, guys, is if we open the mapset folder, I'll make sure to make a zip file for these files, and I'll link them down below in the description, and you can download it, and you guys can actually just put it inside my map, make a new folder called SP and yeah, just put them inside that. And once you have Storybrew and all that, you can actually try to make this effect, you know, this shaking effect, you know. We can do this. We don't use this for now. For now, I can provide this shake effect script to you guys who actually want to just copy paste it, which yeah, I don't know why you would do that if you want to learn a little bit more about storyboarding in Storybrew. The best way to learn is to actually just write while I'm actually showing you how to do it. So that's probably the best way for you to learn. You will learn new things and all that. So I want you guys to maybe like do the same. If you're experienced, you can probably, I don't know, go crazy, and you can tag me on Twitter and be like, this is my version or something. I don't know. So we could like probably just go to Twitter, and you'll be able to tag me by typing in @tochi right there, and then you can be like, made this, or here's my version, or something like that. Just you can do it under the tweet that I will make when I post this video or something like that. That'll be crazy to see how you guys actually if you actually did the same as me or something like that. But well, thanks for watching, and I hope you guys have a great day, night, whatever, evening, and I'll see you in the next part where I actually finish the rest of the storyboard, if I actually if I'm not too lazy. Yeah, Well, I'm just honest. Yeah, you can download the map in the YouTube description as well. Try your best to replicate this effect. I already did the dirty work of cutting out the goddamn assets, you know, the sprites and all that. So I hope you will use them wisely. But yeah, thanks for watching again, and see you next time.